The following is a poem written by radical feminist D A Clarke titled Privilege, a poem for men who don't understand what we mean when we say they have it. Now, I'm going to be periodically interrupting this stream of bullshit to comment on the incredible hypocrisy present in this poem. So if I say stop lies or start lies, that's my opinion, as opposed to the text of the poem being read back to you. So to start off, privilege is simple. Going for a pleasant stroll after dark. Not checking the back of your car as you get in. Stop bullshit. And this is where we cue the hordes of carjacking serial rapists that frequent the night in any major U.S. city. Except that they don't exist. Except that the vast majority of women don't have to check their car or the back of their car before they get into it. And if you live in the type of neighborhood where that type of crime is a reality, then I bet you men are checking the back seats of their cars as well. Start lies. Privilege is speaking without interruption and not remembering dreams of rape that follow you all day that woke you crying. Stop bullshit. Once again, the constant feminist reminder to the male sex that they, meaning women, are the only ones that are victims of rape, that men cannot be victims of rape, and that they hold exclusive copyright under feminist patent law to all scenarios involving men and women in which victimhood can be extracted. Start lies. Privilege is not seeing your stripped, humiliated body plastered in celebration across every magazine rack. Privilege is going to the movies and not seeing yourself terrorized, defamed, battered, butchered, but seeing something else. Stop bullshit. Once again, like I said before in my other videos, all of these women are receiving paychecks and enriching their bank accounts off of this body humiliation and movie exploitation, as you call it. So maybe women are to blame for it and not men. Start bullshit. Privilege is riding your bicycle across town without being screamed at or run off the road, not needing an abortion, taking off your shirt on a hot day in a crowd, not wishing you could type better just in case, not shaving your legs, having a decent job and expecting to keep it, not feeling the boss's hand up your crotch. Stop bullshit. More feminist conspiracy theory. Let me enlighten feminists as to how the job market actually works. Men go to work every day. If they do not perform, they get fired. If they are lazy, they get fired. If they, for whatever reason, don't perform up to the standards of their employer, then they are fired. There are even times where they perform up to the standards of their employer, and there's just not any jobs to go around, as the man session has demonstrated, and they get sacked, and they get laid off for doing nothing wrong. Of course, that doesn't happen to feminists because the government sanctions your jobs. Because you sit in your nice little cushy air-conditioned offices talking about Dancing with the Stars or patriarchy theory or whatever inane drivel that feminists conversate about, you wouldn't know about workplace injury because there's no place at your job where you can get injured. Start bullshit. Privilege is being the hero in the TV show, not the dumb broad, and living where your genitals are totemized, not denied, and knowing your doctor won't rape you. Stop bullshit. Man. Incredible. The amount of delusion is incredible. First, it is not the job of men to re-engineer Hollywood so that women feel better about themselves and feel intelligent. Maybe if women displayed some intelligence, then they would start being depicted in the Hollywood movies as anything other than dumb broads. And by the way, there's not a cabal of men that own exclusive rights to the proverbial printing presses in Hollywood. Otherwise, you wouldn't see a bunch of misandry in the movies these days. Yet we have no control over that. But that's not a conspiracy. That's not a conspiracy against men. No, the only time it's a conspiracy is when there's stereotypes denigrating women in Hollywood. Then you have a problem with it because we all know the only thing that really matters to you is how women are viewed in society. Because to you, women should be worshipped. And it's apparent by the fact that you say that your genitals should be totemized. Are you kidding me? You think that your genitals should be deified and worshipped and revered as some mystical thing that imparts wisdom and knowledge? I mean, give me a fucking break. Where do you people come up with this bullshit? Start lies. Privilege is being smiled at all day by nice, helpful women. It is the way you pass judgment on their appearance with magisterial authority. First off, yeah, I don't know if this is just me, but everywhere that I go, I've yet to see these groups of nice, helpful women there to help me out. I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm missing it, but I don't see it. And as per your statement about how men pass judgment on women with magisterial authority, please, please, as if women don't judge the size of our bank accounts with complete and utter unapologetic entitlement and expectation. Start bullshit. Privilege is the way you face a judge of your own sex in court and are overrepresented in Congress and are not strip searched for a traffic ticket. Stop bullshit. Okay, yeah, nobody that I've ever met has been strip searched during a traffic ticket. Not even one person, not male or female. Secondly, what does the sex of a judge matter when they are enforcing the most misandric laws ever created, when they are convicting men falsely accused of domestic violence in droves for crimes that they didn't commit? What does it matter that men are overrepresented in Congress if we have people like Vala Joe passing the Violence Against Women's Act that is extremely and incredibly biased against men? What does it matter? Yeah, according to this feminist retard, men are accused of crimes, and then we make our way to the courthouse, and what happens is, since we're men, there's a hot nurse waiting in the bathroom of the courthouse to go make sure to go check that we're men. And once that's confirmed, we go back to the courthouse, and the judge says, well, since you're a man, that means you're part of the boy club, so you're acquitted of all crimes. According to this feminist, that's how things work. But in reality, we all know that men go to jail much, much more than women, in much higher numbers than women, and that men serve more time for the same crimes. So who exactly has the privilege? Men or women? Start bullshit. Privilege is seeing your bearded face reflected through the history text, not only of your high school days, but all your life. Not being relegated to a paragraph every other chapter. Privilege is the way you occupy entire volumes of poetry and more than your share of the couch, unchallenged. More than our share of the couch? What does that even mean? Secondly, I'm sorry that we can't rewrite history to fit your feminine needs. Perhaps if women were more adept at making history and thinking revolutionarily, then perhaps our textbooks would dedicate a tad bit more time to their endeavors. But instead you want us to re-engineer history so that you can feel better about yourself, which makes you an infantilized, juvenile little girl, stamping her feet and holding her breath until men as a collective, who you've deemed some sort of daddy figure, give in to your demands. No, shut your mouth and make history on your own, or go home. Start bullshit. Privilege is your mouthing smug, atrocious insults at women who blink and change the subject politely. Privilege is how seldom the rapist's name appears in the papers, and the way you smirk over your Playboy. Stop bullshit. Where do they come up with this stuff? Mouthing smug, atrocious insults at women? Oh, I see. Because we don't live in a country where a bunch of women like Sharon Osbourne can get together and have a good laugh about male castration and violence towards men, and because they're just hordes of men insinuating violence at women. And then these innocent little creatures, these harmless little creatures known as women, just blink and politely change the subject. How romantic your notions of reality are. And then you go on to say, privilege is how seldom the rapist's name appears in the papers. Except you're forgetting the slight little detail that it is in fact the accused, whose name is plastered throughout the media and the newspapers, interjecting guilt in the public consciousness before guilt is even verified, and before the day in court even arrives. It is not the accuser, but the accused. And that's who you are calling the rapist in this little poem. The guy who hasn't been proved to be a rapist yet. Yeah, that's the person that you don't want to grant any anonymity to. Start bullshit. It's simple, really. Privilege means someone else's pain. Your wealth is my terror. Your uniform is a woman raped to death here or in Cambodia or wherever. Yeah, the rates of violent female sexual crime and rape in the West is equivalent to Cambodia. Yeah, that sounds about right. Wherever your obscene privilege writes your name in my blood, it's that simple. You've always had it. That's why it doesn't seem to make you sick to your stomach. You have it. We pay for it. Now do you understand? Yeah, I understand. I understand just fine. You can't do anything substantial or worthwhile with your worthless lives, feminists, and so you want everybody to treat you as an oppressed victim when we all know that you are some of the most aggressive, violent, and vile human beings to ever exist. That's all I really gotta say about it.